Imagine a night in ancient Sumer, where shadows writhe like serpents across crumbling ziggurats, their forms flickering in the torchlight's dying glow. The air hums with a dread so ancient it clings to the soul, a whisper of talons scraping clay, of wings slicing the wind. This is the realm of Lilitu, the nightmare demon queen, a storm-born terror older than the gods themselves. In Mesopotamia, circa 3000 BCE, her name was etched in fear, a winged spectre who hunted newborns and seduced men into ruin, her laughter a gale that chilled the heart. From Babylon's incantation bowls to 2025's haunted relics in Berlin's museums, Lilitu's shadow endures, her legacy woven into the Jewish Lilith, a demoness of chaos and desire. Demonology seekers, prepare to descend into her abyss, where nightmares take form and the night itself hungers. In the cradle of civilization, where the Tigris and Euphrates carved life from barren dust, Mesopotamia birthed spirits that outlasted empires, their shadows woven into the very stones of Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon. Before the Enuma Elish sang of gods wrestling chaos into order, before Gilgamesh faced the spectre of mortality, Lilitu soared as a primal force, her wings a storm that tore through the night, their gales howling like the cries of the damned. A 3rd millennium BCE Sumerian tale tells of a priest in Uruk, his sleep plagued by a winged shadow, her talons grazing his chest, each scrape a whisper of death, his breath stolen as her hisses filled the dark, the air thick with sulphur's stench, the silence trembling as if the earth itself feared her wrath. In 18th century BCE Babylon, a healer's cuneiform tablet, etched with trembling hands, warned of Lilitu's brood spirits of disease and death that choked rivers with ash, withered wombs with their touch, their hunger, a tide that drowned hope in despair. The Inanna's descent hints at her kin, netherworld demons who prey on the living, their hunger fed only by offerings of salt and blood, their hisses echoing through Urkala's dust-choked halls. Lilitu, known as a storm demon, was no mere spectre but a queen of chaos, her powers woven into the lore of Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian priests, her name a curse whispered in fear. Temples in Nippur and Nineveh burned incense to bar her entry, their altars scarred with sigils that pulsed under moonlight, glowing like embers of a dying fire, the air heavy with the weight of her presence. A 7th century BCE Assyrian amulet, unearthed in 2024 near Mosul, bears her image bird talons sharp as daggers, a lion's head snarling with hunger, wings dripping with shadow that seem to writhe in the torchlight, its edges worn as if clawed by her wrath, the clay trembling as if it held her breath. Her terror shaped a world where mortals cowered, their dreams haunted by her gaze, their altars trembling under the weight of her power. The Gilgamesh epic's wilderness spirits echo her chaos, their dread a mirror of her unrelenting hunger, their shadows a chain that bound the soul to her will. In 2025, Lilitu's legacy haunts, her nightmare tide unyielding. Berlin's Pergamon Museum houses tablets whispering her name, their cuneiform seeming to pulse with her energy, chilling curators who feel her gaze burning through the ages, the air thick with a dread that clings to the heart. London's archives hold incantation bowls, etched with her chains, their sigils glowing faintly under glass, as if her wings stir just beyond sight. In Iraq, 2024 tales speak of midwives chanting ancient words against her, their cribs trembling under an unseen weight, the air heavy with salt and fear as her shadow prowls near, the ground scarred with claw marks that glow under starless skies. Lilitu, mother of nightmares, seductress of ruin, child slayer of legend, wove a terror that endures from Sumer's storms to the modern world. Today, we unravel her dread, her origins in Sumer's chaos, her powers of storm and seduction, her rituals of banishment, and her evolution into the Jewish Lilith, a demoness who defies gods and men. Her talons a curse that binds the soul. Demonology fans, which nightmare of Lilitu chills you most, a storm-wrought chaos, or her child-slaying wrath? Let's plunge into her ancient dread, where her wings still tear the night and her hisses haunt the heart. Lilitu's origins, the Stormborn Queen. Lilitu emerged in Sumer circa 3000 BCE, a storm spirit born from the raw chaos of creation, her name tied to the Sumerian Lilith or winder force that carried disease and death on wings that tore through the night. Unlike Lamashtu, her kin who hunted with singular malice, Lilitu was a class of demons. Her female form the most feared, a nightmare queen whose terror eclipsed her male counterpart, Lilu, a mere shadow of her dread. Her form was monstrous, zoo-bird talons for feet, clawing the earth like daggers, wings that shredded the sky with gales that howled like tormented souls, a lion's head snarling with a hunger that devoured hope. A 3rd millennium BCE Sumerian incantation from Nippur describes her as a maiden spirit who slips through windows, her breath a fever that consumes infants in their cradles, her gaze a lust that binds men to ruin, their hearts chained to her will, the air thick with sulphur's stench as her presence lingers like a curse. The Enuma Elish's Tiamat, a chaos mother spawning monstrous brood, echoes Lilitu's primal wrath. Her Lilim demonic offspring born from unions with mortal men a mirror of Tiamat's chaos-born creatures. Their hunger a tide that sweeps the soul into darkness. In Akkadian lore, Lilitu was Inanna's handmaiden, a seductress sent to lure men into the night, her beauty a trap that led to death, her form shifting from radiant maiden to winged horror. A 2nd millennium BCE tale tells of a merchant in Lhasa, seduced by Lilitu's unearthly beauty, her eyes burning like embers, her hair flowing like rivers of shadow only to wake racked with sores that wept black ichor, his home scarred with claw marks that pulsed under moonlight, the air heavy with sulphur's stench, the silence broken by her laughter, a gale that chilled his soul. Her storms brought desolation, her wings stirring gales that withered crops, leaving fields barren as if cursed, her presence a plague that haunted the vulnerable mothers, infants, the unwary. In Sumer's ancient cities, her name was whispered in fear, her sigils etched on clay to ward off her wrath, the tablets cracking as if grazed by her talons. Priests in Nippur burned offerings to bar her, their altars glowing with a faint, unearthly light, the ground trembling as her shadow prowled just beyond sight. In 2025, her origins linger in relics that pulse with her terror. A Berlin museum tablet, etched with her winged form, chills viewers, its clay seeming to hum with her breath, the air thick with dread as if her gaze watches through the ages. In Iraq, 2024 tales whisper of a desert storm sparing a village after a Lilitu amulet was buried under a threshold, the sands swirling as if alive with her wings, the earth scarred with claw marks that glowed faintly under starless skies. Lilitu's birth in the chaos of creation shaped her as a queen of nightmares, her storms a tide that drowned hope, her talons a chain that bound souls to her will. In Akkadian temples, her image haunted altars, their stones worn as if touched by her claws, the air heavy with the memory of her gales. Her Lilim, born of mortal ruin, carried her legacy, their whispers echoing in the dreams of the living. Lilitu's terror is a force older than the gods, her wrath a storm that never stills, her presence a curse that lingers in the night, her wings a tide that sweeps the soul into an eternal abyss. Demonology fans, which of Lilitu's origins chills you most, a storm-born chaos or her child-slaying wrath? Her terror endures, her wings ever stirring, her gaze a chain that binds the heart through the ages. Lilitu's powers, seduction and destruction. Lilitu's powers were a paradox of allure and annihilation. As a succubus, she slipped into dreams, her form a vision of desire-long hair flowing like rivers of night, eyes burning like embers that drove men to madness, their seed spawning her Lilim, demonic offspring who plagued the earth. A 1st millennium BCE Babylonian tale tells of a priest in Sippar, haunted by Lilitu's whispers, his sleep filled with visions of her embrace, his body wasting as her laughter echoed, the air heavy with ash. Her storms brought disease, her breath a pestilence that struck newborns and mothers, her talons a chain that bound life to death. The Gilgamesh epic's wilderness demons hint at her kin, their chaos a shadow of her wrath. She could shapeshift, becoming a fly to enter homes or a beauty to seduce kings. A 9th century BCE Assyrian tablet describes her as a night hag who chokes the breath, her wings pressing against the chest, her gaze sealing doom. Her power over nightmares was unmatched, trapping souls in visions of dust and shadow, their screams swallowed by her hisses. In 2025, her terror persists, A Louvre exhibit of her sigils, etched on clay, seems to hum, chilling visitors who feel her gaze. In 2024, Syrian tales speak of a fever sweeping a village after a shrine was defiled, the air thick with her presence, the sick whispering of a winged shadow in their dreams. Lilitu's power seduction, plague, nightmares are a tide that drowns hope, her wings a storm that haunts the heart. Rituals against Lilitu, banishing the nightmare. Mesopotamians waged a desperate war against Lilitu's terror, their altars glowing with offerings to bar her wrath, their hands trembling as they fought the nightmare queen who slipped through shadows. Incantation bowls, buried upside down under thresholds, bore her image in chains, their spirals of text etched in cuneiform weaving spells to bind her power, the clay pulsing with a faint, unearthly light that flickered like a warning in the dark. A 2nd millennium BCE Babylonian ritual burned salt and juniper under starlight, the smoke curling like serpents rising from the void, driving Lilitu from homes as the air grew thick with the scent of sacred herbs, the ground trembling as her shadow fled, its claw marks scarring the earth like wounds that never heal. A Sumerian tale whispers of a mother in Ur, her infant spared after burying a Lilitu amulet beneath her cradle, its sigils glowing with a ghostly radiance as Lilitu's hisses faded into the night, the air heavy with relief, yet laced with dread as if her presence lingered just beyond sight. In Nippur, priests chanted under flickering torchlight, scattering ash across doorways to seal them against her wings, their voices trembling as the night grew still, the silence a fragile shield against her return. The Inanna's descent speaks of netherworld spirits restrained by offerings, their chains a mirror of Lilitu's banishment, her wrath held at bay by the living's desperate pleas. A 7th century BCE, Assyrian tablet details a rite, 7 knots tied with red thread, each burned with sacred herbs, the flames dancing like spirits fleeing her grasp, the earth scarred with claw marks that seemed to writhe under moonlight, as Lilitu's presence retreated, the air thick with the memory of her hisses. These rituals demanded sacrifice blood, salt, and fear, a chain forged by the living to bind her nightmare tide, their offerings a shield against her talons that hungered for the vulnerable. In 2025, these ancient rites echo through time, their terror undimmed. Iraqi midwives scatter salt around cribs, chanting words as old as Sumer, their altars trembling under an unseen weight, the air heavy with dread as if Lilitu's wings brush near, the shadows twisting with her presence. A British museum bowl, unearthed in 2024, bears Lilitu's chained form, its clay pulsing with an energy that chills curators, its spirals of text seeming to hum with her bound wrath, the edges worn as if grazed by her claws. In Babylon's ruins, her sigils linger on cracked stone, their faint glow a warning to those who tread sacred grounds, the air thick with the dust of ancient offerings. The living's fear remains a chain that binds her, their rituals a desperate dance to bar her from the cradle, their altars a shield against her nightmare tide that threatens to sweep the soul into darkness. Lilitu's banishment was never certain, her shadow ever poised to return, her hiss is a curse that haunts the night. In Sumerian homes, mothers clutched amulets, their prayers trembling as they buried clay beneath thresholds, the ground shuddering as if resisting her wrath. In 2025, her terror persists in whispered chants and trembling altars, the living's offerings a fragile barrier against her hunger. The rituals are a testament to her power, a chain forged in fear to hold her at bay, her nightmare tide a force that lingers in the silence, her wings a storm that never fully stills. Demonology fans, which ritual against Lilitu chills you most, the glowing amulets that bind her or the smoke that drives her shadow? Her wrath endures, her chains ever tested, her nightmare a tide that threatens to drown the soul. Lilitu to Lilith, evolution of a demoness. By the 6th century BCE, Lilitu's terror merged into the Jewish Lilith, her Mesopotamian roots reshaping into a demoness of Jewish folklore. The Book of Isaiah, 34:14, names her as a night monster, dwelling in desolate wastes, her wings a symbol of chaos. A honest millennium BCE tale tells of Lilith as Adam's first wife, created equal but banished for defying him, her flight to the Red Sea birthing demons. The Babylonian Talmud describes her as a seductress with long hair, preying on men alone, her children, the Lilim. A 6th century CE incantation bowl from Iraq shows her bound, its Aramaic text a plea to spare infants, its clay scarred as if by her talons. The alphabet of Ben Sira, 8th–10th century CE, cements her as Adam's rebellious wife, her refusal to submit sparking her exile and vengeance. She became the consort of Samael, mother of demons, her lust and child-killing wrath echoing Lilitu's powers. In 2025, her legacy haunts. A Yale excavation uncovers a bowl with her name, its edges worn as if touched by her wings, chilling archaeologists. In 2024, Jordanian tales whisper of a woman's screams after neglecting a shrine, the air heavy with Lilith's presence. Lilitu's evolution into Lilith is a chain of terror. Her Mesopotamian storms now Jewish nightmares, her talons a tide that binds souls to her will. Modern legacy, Lilitu's shadow in 2025. Lilitu's terror endures in 2025, her shadow woven into the very bones of the modern world, her presence a nightmare tide that pulses through museum relics and whispered tales. Berlin's Pergamon Museum displays a tablet carved with her bird-footed form, its clay seeming to pulse with an unearthly rhythm, chilling viewers who feel her gaze burning through the ages, the air thick with a dread that clings like damp ash to the soul. In London, a 2024 exhibit of incantation bowls hums with her energy, their sigils glowing faintly under glass, as if her wings stir just beyond sight. The silence heavy with a tension that presses against the heart, the shadows twisting as if her talons graze the edges of the light. In Iraq, midwives still chant ancient words against her, their altars strewn with salt to bar her wrath, their cribs trembling as if her wings brush near, the air thick with sulphur's stench, the night alive with the echo of her hisses. A 2024 tale from Syria tells of a village spared a plague after burying a Lilitu amulet beneath a sacred stone, the sand swirling as if stirred by her breath. The ground scarred with claw marks that glowed under starless skies, the silence broken only by the faint hum of her retreating presence. Her influence persists in modern demonology, her name invoked by those who fear the night, their voices trembling as they speak of a shadow that haunts their dreams. The Zohar's Lilith, a seductress and child slayer with flowing hair and burning eyes, mirrors Lilitu's chaos, her legacy a warning to honor the gods or face her wrath. Her Lilim, a brood that stalks the vulnerable. In 2025, her image haunts art and stories, her wings a symbol of rebellion and ruin, her gaze a curse that lingers in the minds of those who dare meet it, their sleep plagued by visions of her storm-wrought terror. In Berlin's shadowed halls, curators whisper of relics that hum with her power, their dreams filled with her laughter a gale that chills the heart, echoing through the night, like a storm that never stills. In London, artists draw her form, their canvases marked with wings and talons, the paint seeming to pulse with her energy, chilling viewers who feel her presence in the brushstrokes. Iraqi tales speak of mothers guarding cribs with salt and chants, their altars trembling under an unseen weight, the air heavy with dread as if Lilitu's shadow prowls just beyond the firelight. In Syria, 2024 rituals echo Suma's desperate pleas, their offerings a chain to bind her, their altars a shield against her nightmare tide. From Suma's storms to Jewish folklore, Lilitu's terror is a tide that sweeps through time, her Lilim a legacy of chaos that haunts the vulnerable, her wings a storm that carries ruin. Her name, whispered in 2025's darkened corners, evokes a fear as old as creation, her image a warning etched in clay and canvas, her presence a curse that binds the soul. In museum vaults and desert villages, her shadow lingers, her talons a chain that threatens to drag the unwary into her abyss. Lilitu's nightmare tide endures, her laughter a gale that chills the blood, her gaze a force that traps the heart in visions of dust and shadow. Demonology fans, which of Lilitu's modern shadows chills you monster relics that pulse with dread or her nightmares that haunt the night? Her terror sweeps through time, her wings ever stirring, her gaze a curse that binds the soul to her eternal chaos. Lilitu, the nightmare demon queen, is older than any demon, her wings a storm that tore through Mesopotamia's cradle. From Suma's incantations to 2025's haunted relics, her terror, Endurus seductress, child slayer, mother of nightmares. The Enuma Elish and Gilgamesh echo her chaos, her melem a splendor that burns the soul. Her evolution into Lilith binds her to Jewish lore, her talons a curse that haunts the night. Demonology fans, which of Lilitu's terrors chills you, her storm-wrought plagues or her seductive nightmares? Comment below, subscribe, and beware. Her wings still stir the dark, her gaze a tide that claims the soul.